The focus for the session will be to open the chest and strengthen the upper back. You will need a strap today, and we'll start with arm swings. So just taking the arms and crossing the arms as they come to the front, and you'll switch up the cross. The goal of this is to begin to warm up the shoulder as we begin to open up the muscles as well as strengthen the muscles. You'll do this for about a minute just so we start to warm up the body. Let the shoulders be relaxed, let your chest be relaxed, your breathing is neutral. And then take those swings from front to back and taking the arms as far back as you can, letting your fingers be relaxed as well as your palms. So you have this added weight from your hands kind of pulling the arms back to find more opening of the chest and the front of the shoulders as the arms swing back. And you can have a little bend of the knees so that way you're not locking out at the knees as well. And from here we'll come into some lateral arm swings. So taking the arm out to the side and down, and alternating between the arms. And as you lift, if you find your whole body is kind of moving along with it, don't go up high, go a little bit lower. So that way you're still warming up the muscles, but you're not loading and cranking into the low back or moving around the spine all that much. You can even do both at the same time if that feels okay for your shoulders. And if one arm is keeping you from going up higher, then don't go up as high with the other arm, the one that can go up a little bit higher. Try and keep them at the same height. So that way you're kind of meeting your body in the middle of where it is. You should start to feel the top of your shoulders to traps, beginning to fatigue. All right, just a couple more rounds here. From here, we'll come into some shoulder traction. So the one elbow comes out in front. You create a 90-degree angle with the elbow. The hand is directly above the elbow and the palm faces the midline of the body. The opposite hand will come onto the elbow. With your shoulder, you're going to roll it back and down and push the forearm forward. When you do that, it kind of locks the humerus bone into place, and it also engages the serratus muscle just along that upper side body. The opposite hand will come onto your elbow, and then with an exhale, you'll slowly breathe out and press the elbow and the hand into one another, making sure that the belly is in, the knees are slightly bent. And then taking one full round of breath here, so you're engaging all of the muscles around the joints for finding strength. And then relaxing and just kind of moving the arm around, getting it to relax. We'll do that same thing on the other side. So the elbow comes straight out in front. You have a 90-degree angle at the shoulder and at the elbow, so the hand is directly over it. And then the palm faces the midline of the body. With that left shoulder, you roll it back and down and then push it forward so that serratus muscle engages as well as locks the shoulder into place. The opposite hand will come onto the elbow. Taking a deep breath in, and then with your exhale, press the hand and elbow into one another, keeping a little bend of the knees, that tailbone lengthening down, so you're keeping all of the work happening in your arms, as well as mainly on that left side of the body. And then you stay for an entire round of breath. And when you finish that exhale, you release, and you kind of swing it out to let the muscles come back to neutral. We'll do that twice more on each side. So taking that right arm out in front again, left hand comes to the elbow, roll the shoulder back and down, push your forearm forward, lock it into place, inhaling, and then with the exhale, pushing elbow and hand into one another. Now feeling the serratus muscle, and you feel the pecs, the front of the shoulder, the upper back, and then releasing. Swing it out, and we'll go to that second side. Taking the elbow out in front, roll the shoulder back and down, and then push the forearm forward. Hand comes onto the elbow, taking that deep breath in, and then exhale, press. And as you press, paying attention to the sensations in your shoulder, noticing everything that's activated, and then relaxing, and then swing that out. One more time. Taking right arm out in front, shoulder rolls back and down, and then forearm presses forward. Hand comes to elbow, inhaling. And then exhale, press hand and elbow into one another. Feel for the engagement on the right side body, especially in the shoulder, the side body just below the armpit, maybe the upper back, as well as your chest. And then releasing that for this last round, or last one, taking that left arm out in front, roll the shoulder back and down, push that forearm forward. Elbow and hand press, inhale. Exhale, pressing together. And as you press together, feeling for the sensation of the muscles that are fired up, the ones that you're toning, creating more space in the upper back, and then release. The next movement will be a chest opener. Grabbing your strap, and it doesn't have to be too wide. So I will fold mine in half because it's super long. But bring the strap behind your back. When you grab the strap, you want the top of your hands pointing forward and your fingers pointing back. The hands will come about hip width apart. Make sure there's a little bend at the knees, tailbone is tucking so you're protecting your low back, and then begin to take the arms back behind you. As the arms come back behind you, try to pull the strap apart. If that doesn't feel good, take the hands a little lower or don't pull as hard on the strap, but you're looking to begin to open up the pec muscles of the chest, maybe feeling that sensation come all the way up into the collarbones, and the front of the chest, letting the shoulders relax down the back as much as you can. And then from there, releasing and swing the arms out. So you're letting the arms relax between each movement. And then coming to it again. This time I'll do it facing away from the camera. This time, maybe take your hands a little bit closer together. Little bend of the knees, tailbone tucking. Reach the hands back behind you and try to pull the strap apart. As you pull the strap apart, those shoulder blades come in towards one another. The front of the chest stretches. And you're trying to keep your chin parallel to the ground. Feeling the outer shoulders. Notice the muscles that begin to fatigue. We've done a lot of movement so far. And then relax there. Maybe roll the shoulders out a few times. Going both directions. And then one more time with that. Hands come behind your back. This time, maybe your hands come a little bit closer. It doesn't have to be touching, but just close enough so you can still lift the arms and pull the strap. Bending the knees, lengthen the tailbone down. Arms reach up and back. Try to pull the strap apart. That increases the stretch in the front of the shoulders and the chest. Notice if the shoulders are coming up to the ears. Let them relax down, creating a little bit of space so you can continue to breathe freely through the throat. See if you can squeeze the shoulder blades any more. And then relax. Shoulder shrugs, roll it out. All right, take it the other direction. All right, this time we won't do 3 rounds of it. It'll be Gomukhasana arms, and we'll just do 1 round and we'll hold it a little longer. Straps will come over into your left hand. You'll reach that left arm straight up towards the sky and then bend the elbow, taking the hand behind the head as much as you can. Now that strap is behind the back, so you can reach back with the right hand and grab your strap. Your hands can walk as close together as possible. If that means wherever you've grabbed the strap is where it needs to go, then go there. Once you have that space, left elbow hugs in, and then try to pull your strap apart. You can even rest your hand and your head onto one another, but make sure you're not using the hand to push the head forward. You want to keep a nice long straight spine. And then the shoulders will move down the back. And as you're here, the muscle fibers will begin to open, so you might even notice that you can walk your hands closer towards one another and then trying to pull the strap apart. And notice the closer your hands go to one another, the harder it is to pull the strap. So don't try and make this be 100% of your strength. Just have it be maybe 20 or 30%. So it's not this crazy sensation that's happening in the shoulders. And we're here for just a few more breaths. Make sure you got that little bend of the knees and tailbone tucking. And then slowly releasing that right arm, Then the left arm, feel free to shrug it out, or maybe you want to swing your arms, whatever feels good for you. And then we'll come to that second side. This time the strap will come into your right hand. Right arm reaches up as high as it can go. Elbow bends, so the strap comes behind the back. Left hand reaches back to grab that dangling strap. And then the hands walk as close as they can. If that's not much, then it's not much. And then try to pull the strap apart. And as you pull the strap apart, we're doing isometric contractions, so we're strengthening into the shoulder, but we're also beginning to release the muscle fibers around the shoulder. And then maybe notice that the shoulder is opening now because you've been holding it, and you can walk those hands a little closer towards one another. The right elbow continues to hug in as close to the head as possible. If your hand is behind your head, you can use the head as support, but make sure that you're not pressing the forehead forward. You're keeping the spine nice, long, and straight. Little bend of the knees, tailbone tucking. And you might not be able to pull as hard on the strap as you walk those hands closer, so know that it's totally normal. This isn't a position where we find a lot of strength. So these muscles don't really get a lot of attention in this sort of movement. So we're working on slowly strengthening them and opening them. All right, and then release. Feel free to shrug it out, swing it out, whatever you need to do to open the chest. For the last pose, you will need 2 blocks. We're coming into a passive chest opener, and we'll be here for a little bit. One block comes close to the short edge of the mat. The second block comes at medium or lowest height. I like starting at the lowest height with the shoulder blades and the highest height with the head, so that way I begin to feel opening in the chest. So hips come out in front, and then we lay on top of that first block. And I like to have it hit just below where my shoulder blades start, about 1 inch, and then take my head to that second block. And you can move the block as much or as little as you need to. And the legs don't really matter. If you straighten the legs and let them relax and your low back hurts, bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet to the mat, because that'll give you more space in the lumbar spine. And then the hands just come off of the mat, palms facing up. If you're feeling like you're not really feeling a whole lot here, you can come off of the blocks, lift up that second one at the medium height, and then lay back down onto the block. And this time, because it's a shorter width, it comes just below where my shoulder blades begin, and then my head can come to that second block, and then the arms can stretch out again. And then just breathing. There's not a whole lot that you need to do in this moment. We call this a passive stretch because there's not any activation that you're doing to find the stretch. The blocks allow the body to melt down around them, so the chest, the front of the shoulders open. Again, you might start to notice the chest feeling less intense. So maybe that block behind the head, you lift the head, take it down to the next setting, the next lowest setting, and then take the arms back out. And then you're breathing into the chest as much as you can. Every now and then, notice if you have regained tension. So sometimes, especially if something's feeling intense, we begin to find these habitual movements that our body does. So for me, a lot of times it's clenching the jaw or my shoulders coming up to the ears. Every now and then, mindfully noticing the areas that you're holding on to. And with an exhale, allowing your body to ease and relax around your blocks once again. And when you feel like your whole body is at ease, you can stay there for a few moments longer. And when you're ready to come out, you can walk your feet close towards your hips. You're going to roll off over onto one of your sides. It doesn't really matter which, just whatever side's easiest, pushing down to lift into a comfortable seat. And with that, once you come into a comfortable seat, I want you to pay attention to the chest and your upper back. You might find that the chest feels more open and maybe the upper back feels sore because you're strengthening a lot of the muscles in the upper back that have this tendency to get longer because of sitting in a chair all day and rounding the upper back. And then you also have the added benefits of, because of doing this mindful practice, you might feel relaxed and grounded. I hope this practice is helpful for you. If you have any questions, please add it to the comments. Otherwise, like this video and subscribe to my channel for the latest videos. Thank you.